wow. I think I got the two things that I preference. Oh. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Priscilla. Welcome to my next location. I am a new Seattle-based flight attendant. That sounded good. Let's try this again. I am a new Seattle-based flight attendant working with a major US airline. I just started flying. I have, as of the time that I'm recording this video, I have been flying for 2 weeks now. That's how new and fresh I am on the market. My goal is to post my schedule reactions from month to month. I posted the one for May. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. Okay, support your girl by watching the videos as I drop up. All right, so for the month of June, I did preference a few things. I bid for 3 things, I believe. I would definitely refer to it and we'll go through it eventually. But for the brief overview, I did bid for 3 things, and bidding opens for us on the 13th of every month. And then the schedule is released for the month coming on the 16th of the month prior. So today is the 16th. I haven't looked at my schedule yet. I know it's been released. It is live and active right now. Let's check the schedule. Let's go check the schedule to see if scheduling came through for your girl. Before I go into that, let me just start off with the premise that I bid it for 3 things, but they were not like major things, you know? I just wanted comfort in the sense that I wanted to start the following month of flying, because right now I've only been flying for 2 weeks. Although I have been used on all my 8 days, I haven't flown a line trip yet. My scheduled trips were assigned towards the end of the month. So this week, I believe, will be the start of my actual assigned trips and not my reserve trips. So I've only been flying for 2 weeks. So my feelings or expectations with regards to the June schedule is based on someone who has been flying for only 2 weeks. So let's keep that in mind. I've only been flying for 2 weeks. My seniority is very low right now. So my expectations or my perception of this month or the coming month, which is June schedule, is from the perspective of somebody who's only been flying for 2 weeks, who has only been on the line for 2 weeks. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's see what I got. Let's see if scheduling came through for your girl. Okay, let's go. All right, are we ready? Are we ready? I've said always in my videos, I'm trying to give you guys real-time information as it's happening to me. That way it gives people like a better perspective of what to expect. So I'm trying as much as possible to share the important stuff or the big stuff as they happen to me or as I experience them. First of all, how many rotations or trips was I scheduled? Remember, with the airline company that I work for, we are not thrown after training, even though you're thrown into reserve right after training. The way our schedules are set up is that we're not on reserve for the entire month. We're on reserve for six days of a month, every month, until you get to the seniority level where you don't get assigned reserve at all. But yes, so that's how that works. It's 6 days in a month, and it can come in the form of a 6-day block, so 6 days continuous, or you can get a pair of 3 days. So 3 days block and then another 3-day block where you're on call. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have been assigned 5 trips for the month of June. I believe in the month of May, before I got any assignments on my 8 days or reserve days, I had 4. But for the month of June, I have 5. And then I have 2 sets of 3-day reserve. Yes, so I have 2 sets of 3-day reserve, and in between those 3-day reserves, I have 2 days off as well. I will show you guys my calendar physically so you can actually see how it's set up. But so far, it's looking okay. I have 2 2-day trips, and then I have 3 3-day trips. So that's about it. I did not get a turn or anything. I don't mind a turn right now. Like I said, I'm very new. I'm a new Seattle-based flight attendant, and I don't really have expectations with regards to turns, 2 days, and all that. All I want is the time for reporting to make sense. And This might come as a shock to many people, but I kind of sort of like the early report times. I do, because they so far have tend to have the tend to have a good release time for me. Plus, even though it's so early in the morning, like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 4, it's early in the morning. I like it because the drive is better for me. I like it. It's peaceful. It's quiet outside. There aren't so many people outside. So yeah, I know a lot of you might disagree, but maybe I'm speaking too soon. Like I said, I've only been flying for 2 weeks, so don't ask me. That's the number of rotations that I have for the month. Let's look at the overall schedule values. I know you guys are all about the money too, especially if you're in training right now. You know, sometimes that money is important, but let's see what my overall schedule value is money wise. And then I will try and get a total of the amount of hours I'm actually scheduled for right now. I'm sure there's an easier way of getting access to some of these information, but being new, I'm sure I'm using the long route, but it is what it is. So remember, this is subject to change because anything can happen, cancellations, all that can happen. Plus, I have not been assigned trips for my 8 days. So although we're getting paid when we're on reserve, we are only getting paid for 4.45 hours per day that you're on reserve. So I scheduled that hour into my my scheduled hours for the month. Although I could be called at any point in time on that day. Now that we've established that, that's good. And I have that for 6 days, even though they're 3 separate days. They're 2 sets of 3 days. So that's that. And then I have 5 trips. The schedule value in terms of hours is 88.43 hours. So considering the 4.45 hours that I'm being paid for each day for 8A, plus the rotation that I have and the hours or the credit hours that they are attached to, it comes to a total of 88.43 hours. So typically with a 9 to 5, you're working 9 to 5 and it's 40 hours a week. And then you end up at the end of the month working 160 hours. For me, for the entire month of June, if I don't get assigned trips on my 8 days, on the condition of that, I would have worked 88.43 hours. That's it. Monetary value wise, that 88.43 hours is putting me with the gross pay amount of $3,634.27. Remember, I don't have any international trips. All my trips are all domestic, so keep that in mind. However, with the way Seattle is set up, you can potentially do really good domestic trips and still get a good amount of money. But remember, this $3,634 does not include the trips that I will be assigned on my 8 days, does not include any trips that I might pick during the month, does not include me potentially swapping to get a better trip or anything. So that's where we're sitting right now. So if we're trying to figure out how the money situation works, among other things, I am currently scheduled for 88 hours, including my reserve time, and I will potentially be earning $3,634. Remember that this is minus tax. No, this is before tax. So probably minus tax and everything, I might end up at about 3,400, 3,300, thereabout. So that's potentially good enough because I'm not doing a full 160 hours a month. Think about it. I'm not doing that. And there are people out there who are actually working 160 hours a month plus overtime just to earn the amount that I'm doing. So for a content creator like myself, this is great because I do get a good amount of time off so I can do my other stuff. And remember, if I don't want to work certain trips, I can potentially swap or drop it. So if you're a little bit confused as to the flexibility of our scheduling and everything, this is a good way to look at it. So if you want to work more, you can work more. Overall, it looks good. I do want to switch into talking about the preferences for the bids that I made for the month of June. Did I get any? Did I get any? We're going to see. Hold on, let me pull out my board so we can take a look at my preferences and then also what my overall impression of the schedule is, what I plan on doing, and then also the days off that I have. And I forgot to add this also. Even though my schedule value in terms of how much I'm going to potentially earn for the month of June is set at $3,634. This is minus boarding pay, any commissions I get from the sales we do on the plane and everything. It's minus all those things, so keep that in mind. And you get paid boarding pay for every single flight you work. So if I'm doing 6 legs and my boarding pay is X amount of money, it's 6 times X for that rotation. So if I do 50 legs, not 50 legs, so dramatic. If I do 20 legs in this month, that's 20 flights times my boarding pay. So several other money and other stuff will come through that would boost it up a little bit. So that's not final, but this is what we're starting off. It's a good way for you to plan. Because if you know that potentially this is what you're going to earn, if you feel like you want to earn more, then you do know that, hey, I can pick up more trips to get more money because this is what I'm starting at, you know? So just a good overview so that the new flight attendant will know what to expect monetary-wise and stuff like that too. The green is all my line trips, and then the red is my reserve days. I made it very basic. So for the starting off my trip, for the month starts 2nd June. So between 2nd June and 3rd June, I do have a trip. The report time is at 6 a.m. and then the release time is at 10:35 a.m. Like I said, I'm starting to enjoy the early morning sign-in time, enjoy the vibe and the calmness that comes with it. The world is very quiet then, and I appreciate that. However, I do have another 3-day trip assigned on the 4th. So essentially, I will have about less than 24 hours of rest before my next trip, which is fine because if I do get released by, let's say, 10:30 on May 3rd in the morning, I have that morning, that afternoon, and that evening to get ready for the 3-day trip, which follows that. I will talk about the legs that I have for these trips. So for the 2-day trip that I have between June 2nd and June 3rd, I'm actually being a bit more detailed with these schedule reaction videos because I am here to cater to the new flight attendant or somebody who's considering becoming a flight attendant or somebody who is still in training. That way it gives you a better perspective of what to expect. That's why I try to make these videos as detailed as possible. I just want you to see what the real deal is and you still have time to change your mind. And remember, once again, I am a Seattle-based flight attendant. Scheduling wise, things might look different for somebody who's in New York, Atlanta, or Portland or wherever. So keep that in mind. So for this first 2-day trip that I have starting from June 2nd to June 3rd, I have 2 legs on the first day, and then on the go home day, which is June 3rd, I have 1 leg. So it's just 3 legs total. It's not that bad. The credit hours for this trip is sitting at 10.19 hours. I have a 3-day trip here. Report time is about the same as a 2-day trip, which is at 6:10 a.m. and the release time is similar to the 2-day trip, which is at 10:45 a.m. Alright, so for the 3-day trip, 4 legs total. So I have 1 leg on the first day, then I have a layover for 19 hours in San Diego, and then California, and then I have 2-leg day the following day, and then go home day is 1 leg. So I think there's a reason why I'm getting 1 leg, 2 legs so far. I will talk about my bid preferences and everything, but there's a reason why, and I'm super excited that it happened. And then after that 3-day trip, so start time obviously is also at 6:10, release time is at 10:45, and I get 3 days off. So I get the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th off. And then on the 10th, my A-day, my first block of A-days start. I have 2 days off, and then I have another set of A-days as well. So that's it for my A-days. It's literally in the middle of the month for me. And then I get 2 days off after that last set of A-days, and then I start a 2-day trip. So this 2-day trip is actually 2 legs. There's 1 leg on the first day. It's more like a lean over, I believe, because I have 1 leg on the 20th of June, and then I have a 6.5-hour layover. I have 1 leg back the following day. So I'm down with this. It's just 1 leg each day. Easy peasy. Of course, the rest time is very short, But at the end of the day, the flight time is not that long. It's just from Seattle to San Francisco, which is about 2.5 hours flight or something like that. So it's not a bad trip. Then I have 1 day off. The next trip I have is a 3-day trip, and the report time once again is at 6:15, and the release time is at 10:49. It is a 15 hours credit time, so not bad. And for the first day I have 2 legs, the second day I have 2 legs, and go home day I have 1 leg. But the legs are not long trips. They're pretty like 2-3 hour trips, so it's not bad. Very final trip for the month, and the report time for that trip is 7:40 a.m. Release time is at 12. So what did I bid for? I am a new flight attendant. I am still trying to adjust to the flying situation and the toll it takes on my body. Like I said in my previous videos, I do want this career for long term, and I'm enjoying it, even though I'm not out and about enjoying the layovers, going international or not. I actually enjoy it. I like the fact that I like what I do right now. And mind you, this is coming from somebody who has been flying for 2 weeks, who has so far been on reserve this whole time. So I'm actually enjoying everything that's happening, and the fact that I'm able to ease myself into it the way that I want to. So what I did was that I'm noticing that I enjoy having a maximum of 2 legs per day or 1 leg per day. That being said, the first thing that I bid for, and I put this as the top of my priority list, is that I want to have a minimum of 1 to 2 legs per day. And I put this on my bid board or my bids until further notice. So until further notice, until I physically go in and change this, I only want to be assigned trips that have a maximum of 2 legs. And I did get it. I honestly got it, guys, because so far with all the trips that I have on my board or my rotation, the maximum number of legs that I have per day are 2 legs. Yeah. So scheduling came through for me. I did not want a 6-day straight 8-day block, even though we do get only 6 days in a month. I bid for a minimum of 12 hours because I wanted my 8 days to be just straight 3 days and 3 days and not 6 days straight. So to get that, or to potentially maximize your ability to get that, you had to bid for a minimum of 12-hour rest. So I did bid for that, and I did get that. So as you can see, my 8-day, I have 2 separate 3-day blocks. So perfect for that. And then the last thing that I bid for was I wanted all my rotation trips should be 9 hours or more. So I wanted my credit hours to be 9 hours or more. And think about it, because I'm asking for 1 to 2 legs per day, I did not want them to give me like a 1 leg trip or a turn, which would have 6 hours or 5 hours. So I also bid for all my rotations to be the credit hours to be 9 hours or more. And I specifically did this bid to counteract the fact that I was asking for 1 to 2 legs per day. And I did not get that because I did get one of my 2-day trips were 6 hours, so it was less than the 9 hours that I wanted. However, it's only 1 out of the 5 assigned rotations, so it's not really bad. So overall, my impression, I like my schedule. I'm pleased with it, except for the first 2-day trip that I have. Coming from someone who just started flying or who's only been flying for 2 weeks, I will be flying with people that are very junior. So I am literally the second senior person, and it's a minimum crew of 4. By that time, I would have flown for a month, so maybe my feelings towards that rotation would be different. But right now I'm thinking of swapping it for a different 2-day trip, but I might change my mind. I might keep it as it is. That's the first thing. In terms of my preferences, like I said, I got almost all 3 preferences, all 3 bids that I had. I didn't bid for anything special. I didn't bid for any specific layovers cities because I don't know the cities, so I'm just going with it as it is. So yeah, the most important thing for me with my bids were the fact that I wanted 1 to 2 legs per day so I can ease myself into this job. I'm not trying to go bam, bam, bam. I'm trying to go bam, 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 okay? So that happened, and I'm happy with that. That was the most important thing for me. So good. Thank you. for coming through for me. The other thing also that I do plan on swapping is I do have a 3-day trip rotation. It's at the end of the month of June, and I have a 34-hour. It's just, I love the trip itself because I think I have 2 legs each day, but there's also a 34-hour layover at Cincinnati, and I don't know what I'm gonna do at Cincinnati. I've never been there before, so I'm not really looking forward to the 34-hour layover. However, this video will come out before the time this rotation starts. So if you're watching the content and you get to this portion, please drop in the comment section below some of the things that I can do at Cincinnati, because it's 34 hours. I have to do something. It's a whole 34 hours. But if I do keep it, I might probably go out and explore the city. If not, I might swap it for something else with a lesser layover time. I think I've gotten comfortable with the 14-hour layovers. Yeah, overall, it was good. I did get the 3 things that I bid for, so yay to me. This is my schedule for June. Nothing exciting, nothing crazy either, so we're going to take it as it is. If you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. What are you guys waiting for? Like I said, the goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. Support me by sharing my content on YouTube, all social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you in next month's schedule reaction video. Bye bye.